How are we doing on the ongoing Epstein business? More people waking up, more people coming around?
This Monday, but we start with the MAGA revolt over the Jeffrey Epstein case, one that even the president can't seem to control. It hasn't stopped him from defending his attorney general, Pam Bondi, and trying to convince his own base there's no there there. At one point, chastising them for wasting time and energy.
Yeah, I'll show you how it's going.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the time being. I'm going to trust my friends in the administration. I'm going to trust my friends in the government to do what needs to be done, solve it, balls in their hands. I've said plenty this last weekend. So if you guys want to see my commentary on it, that's fine.
I'm going to trust my friends in the government. There's no ideological difference between Charlie Kirk and Nick Fuentes. The only real difference between them is that Charlie has been willing time and time again to drop issues that would make him popular if it puts him closer to the administration, and Fuentes hasn't. That's it. They both probably have the exact same views about Jews. Charlie just has to shut up about them if he wants to keep, you know, hovering around the White House. Fuentes doesn't shut up about it. It's really the only difference. Here you have it again, right? Like Charlie Kirk in any other timeline would be, oh, rah, Epstein files. But now he, you know, very obviously Trump has signaled, of course he's friends with Epstein or was friends with Epstein. Drop the subject. And Charlie Kirk's like, I'm going to trust my friends in the government, you know? I'm going to trust the deep state. It's the most deep state thing you could say. I'm going to stop talking about this gigantic cover-up because my friends in the government have assured me that there's nothing to look into here. Incredible stuff. And he calls himself a conservative? Well, yeah, being pro-pedophilia is the most conservative position there is.
Honestly, I'm done talking about Epstein for the
Yeah. What's this fuss about Ghislaine Maxwell trying to release the client list? Maxwell is willing to speak in front of Congress about the Epstein files, sources tell Daily Mail. Is there a source on this that isn't the Daily Mail? Out of curiosity? Ghislaine was never offered any kind of plea deal. She'd be more than happy to sit before Congress and tell her story. No one from the government has ever asked her to share what she knows. She remains the only person to be jailed in connection to Epstein. You know that if Ghislaine Maxwell testified before Congress, which would be like weird, you know, you would bring somebody serving a jail sentence out to just talk about their case with Congress. You know she wouldn't implicate anyone, right? If there was any risk whatsoever of her implicating the powerful people that she knew, they would have already had her killed. Like the fact that she would never say anything is the only reason she was around to even serve a jail sentence. Yeah, but she could surprise them. Well, I think is more likely, if anything, is that she just makes stuff up to ingratiate herself to Donald Trump so that she can get a pardon. Her charges are federal, aren't they? She could go to Congress and be like, nope, there actually is no client list. In fact, Epstein wrote daily about how much he hated Donald Trump. She'll say it was Clinton and Mamdani. True. Let me see if I can find anything that isn't from the Donald Trump ally reacts to Ghislaine Maxwell testifying about Epstein. Roger Stone has welcomed reports that Ghislaine Maxwell might be willing to testify to Congress about her ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Stone says Epstein's former associate, quote, has nothing on Trump, pushing back at speculation. Yeah, if she does talk to Congress, she will just lie to protect Trump. Doesn't Stone have ties to Epstein? Does he? They all do. Not all of them. Elon doesn't. I don't know if Stone does. Stone, a prominent conservative commentator, responded to the report, writing, personally, I like the news that Epstein's pimp Maxwell is ready to testify before Congress. Bill and Hillary are going to be very embarrassed. She has nothing on Trump. I doubt anything's going to come from this. Kimball Musk does. Jeffrey Epstein set Elon Musk's brother up with a girlfriend in an effort to get closer to the Tesla founder, sources say. Elon didn't found Tesla. That didn't happen. Okay. Investor who took over the business. He bought the title of founder. That doesn't make you founder. No. You can't buy the title of founder. That's ridiculous. I don't acknowledge this. Okay? Woke nonsense. Exactly. He legit made it a rule that he had to be labeled a founder. So insecure. So embarrassing.
On something, quote,
make some noise if you care about the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
Raise your hand if it matters a lot to you. Raise your hand. So every hand of 7,000 people.
Everybody cares.
A lot. I said a lot.
Then one day later, he's like, I'll trust my friends in the government.
Every hand.
How many of you are not satisfied with the results of the investigation?
I want to bring in NBC senior national politics reporters Jonathan Allen and Matt Dixon. Matt was at that summit over the weekend. Also with us, NBC senior justice and intelligence correspondent Ken Delanian and Matthew Dowd, an MSNBC senior political analyst. Okay, Matt, you wrote that Trump supporters have gone along with him really through every scandal and policy shift. When he made a decision, his base backed him. But the Epstein issue is challenging this alliance like never before, and
Well, okay, for one, the Democrats need to put way the fuck more pressure on this. For two, it's really just main character syndrome. That's it. Whenever Trump previously has been in a conundrum of any kind, whenever he's done anything bad, narratively, it was the most satisfying for his supporters to back him against whatever it was, you know, the consequences of whatever he'd done, right? In this case, that's just not the case. There's no satisfaction whatsoever to Trump randomly saying, stop talking about it, forget about it, nothing happened. The thing you've been obsessing over for 6 years didn't happen. It's not real, it's fake. And then everyone just moves on from it. It does not sell with people.
I said you were at the summit. I know you spoke to conservatives there. Help folks understand why they care so much about this issue specifically.
Well, it's an issue that Trump and Republicans who support him have talked about for a very long time. Epstein was a campaign trail issue. He built a lot of intensity around this particular issue. And even more recently, even after 2024, where it came up, Attorney General Bondi saying that she had the files, a client list on her desk. They did a binder Epstein evidence review with social media influencers. So that really builds a lot of trust and a lot of intensity with his political base on this issue. And the underlying allegations are so stunning and stark that people really feel it in their gut. So when functionally this weekend in Tampa, the rug was kind of pulled out from underneath them, a lot of people were left both kind of angry and confused. There's concerns about transparency and the direction Trump is going. And you would...
So fucking funny how in every photo, Epstein is trying to like stunt the camera a little bit, you know? Every like candid photo, he's giving you the look like he knows you know. Like it's like he knew all these photos would be logged into the history books whenever people, you know, after his death, when people talk about what he did. He's like, yeah.
You had said it earlier in the open. Usually in these moments, Trump has a good ability to bring his base back in. Certainly in Tampa, it felt like it's going to be harder to do that with this one. The intensity was palpable, and people were quite angry.
Wow. So, Matthew, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and then the far-right podcaster, Benny Johnson, all tried to just lay out why this is such a big deal for the base. And Johnson started off by specifically responding to Trump's claim that Democrats are to blame for the Epstein files.
By admitting that the Epstein files are real and have been written and that you've read them, and you don't like their contents and they were written by your enemies, doesn't make the most compelling case.
At its core, the MAGA movement is made up of a bunch of parasocial cultists and content creators, right? Like they're not exactly disciplined insiders. A lot of these people are literally just farming the bag on their own base. Yeah, here's, you know, Benny Johnson saying the same. So if you give them like a line to follow that just doesn't resonate with the base, people are going to have a difficult time going along with it.
As far as I'm concerned. Holy moly.
The guy was some weird sex freak who was abusing girls. We knew that. But the fact that the U.S. government, the one that I voted for, refused to take my question seriously and instead said, case closed, shut up, conspiracy theorist, was too much for me. And I don't think the rest of us should be satisfied with that.
It's about transparency. One of the main reasons that we voted Trump in was because we wanted real answers on real stories, and we didn't want to be BS'd anymore with a bunch of nonsense from our government that treated us like a bunch of stooges. Right? Thank you.
So, Matthew, you could argue that this is a monster the Trump administration created, right? Trafficking, conspiracy theory.
Tucker and the Fox host there. Well, you know, it's TPUSA. You know, they get away with a lot. When are they going to show that Bannon bit? I don't know if they do. Bannon predicting a 40-seat loss? God, I wish.
Bongino, and he seemed to say that everything was fine. Trump also appeared with Pam Bondi in public and appeared to give her the thumbs up. And what I'm told by officials close to the situation is that Trump so far is supporting Bondi, even though a lot of the criticism from MAGA world, because they don't like to criticize the president, has been directed at her. So far, Trump seems to be with her. He's got surrogates out there on X trying to justify what the Justice Department has done. But she herself stoked these conspiracy theories, as you guys have been saying. So did Kash Patel. So did Dan Bongino. This is a really tough genie to put back in the bottle, especially when you consider that the idea that that Democrats are preying on children runs really deep in MAGA world. It goes to the QAnon conspiracy theories. It's something that a lot of people...
Notice how in talking about this, they stop short of actually accusing Trump of being a pedophile. How much have they been talking about this? Quite a bit, honestly. Bondi versus Bongino, Bondi, Bannon's Epstein warning, MAGA's nightmare on Epstein. Like, they talk about it a lot. They don't actually, like, fan the fire at all, though. It seems like for a lot of Democrats, they see this as, like, these crazy conspiracists. It's blown up in their faces, you know? Like, you've played with fire and now you've gotten burnt. You've weaponized something that has now been turned against you. But they don't actually, like, fan the flames, you know? Exhausting. It's because they don't want to get sued. The only reason PBS folded on that lawsuit, or not PBS, sorry. Oh, this is ABC. Oh yeah, the only reason that ABC had filed, had settled on this lawsuit is because they didn't want it to get in the way of their merger, right? Or am I thinking of a different? Yeah, Disney's. No, that was in 1995. What was the merger? Paramount? That was Paramount. Sorry, there are so many lawsuits. They're owned by Disney. Yeah. They're owned by Disney, Paramount. Yeah. What doesn't Disney own at this point? I don't know. Any good animated movies made in the past decade? 2D animation? Unfortunately, there just won't be any consequences to any of this shit unless Democrats are willing to scramble and grab up the empty space left behind by people who have been disillusioned by the Epstein shit. I don't know. I'm sure some of them will come around. Would this create legitimate space for Elon's party? No, Elon's party is not real. It won't happen. No shot that happens. Corbyn's party is now tied with Labor in new poll. I don't care. Hey, what's that? Is that a top secret call to action that isn't part of a live stream? Yes, and you're special for seeing it. I want you guys to phone back. I know that it can be exhausting keeping up with the news. I try to make it more palatable because I deliver it. I'm funny, the funniest guy alive, maybe. But unfortunately, consuming information in a way that you find humorous doesn't actually, like, change the world or fix the problems you're hearing about. It just makes you feel smart for knowing about them, which, I mean, if you're satisfied with that, that's kind of part of the problem on our side, right? Progressive Victory is doing a last-second phone bank, blitz of phone banking for the lovely Dea Fox, one of a number of young Gen Z Democratic progressives. She's been doing a wonderful job. She's basically like surged in the polls, got a bunch of money, has been using her history as one of the campaign strategists for Kamala Harris. Yeah, she's got a little bit of an inside touch with the DNC. You need the phone bank right now. Phone bank or you're an idiot. You can sign up with Progressive Victory. Look at that. They've got a website. It's called progressivevictory.win because they like winning. Listen, the link's down below. You know where to click if you want to do this, okay? I know you have free time. I know you want the world to be better than it is, so please give it a try, okay? You just join up, you sign up with the Discord, you give your info and phone number, you join the Discord, and there are people there, they're running phone banks. They're running it right now as I record this. The election's only in a few days, okay? And there's a decent shot Fox could win. And while I'm at it, you know, I know a lot of folks donate to me. You're very kind. PV needs money to pay their organizers, and they are doing actual work. You've heard all this from me before, okay? But how many times did you have to be told to clean your room before you actually did it? How many times have you been told that your life would be better if you set a consistent sleep schedule and if you exercised regularly and went on walks, and you still haven't done it? But it would still be better for you if you did. You can still make your life better, and you can still make the world better, okay? Take it seriously. Give it a try. Links in the description and the sticker.